Okay, how are you?
Pretty good.
Great. Here is Victor with me.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Victor. Hey, how are you doing?
Nice, thanks, and you?
Not too bad. I just wanted to have the screen share because this is regarding tickets 910 and a couple other follow-on tickets. There's been a couple changes in requirements since one of the tickets that you first worked on was done, and so I wanted to just explain how it was working, how it was changing, why it was changing, just to avoid confusion. So, do you remember working on the integration for the API Simply file? That was one of the previous tickets. It's what 910 is about. So this would have been for one of the external services we have. This one. So you would go and create a Simply file proxy and pass in some options and make a call. Do you remember working on this one?
Yeah, I trying to remember the exact details of that API, but yeah, we have done some like simple things with that API, and for the 910 task, I think it is the same. We just need to pass something to the API, and that's all. If I get it right.
Exactly. There's a couple changes where that information is coming from. So, originally, the credentials for Simplify was coming from the app settings, and some of these things will still be coming from the app settings, but the user token is now going to be coming from the database, and I'll explain to you why. The user token is going to be used to authenticate each user of our system. So what's going to happen is we have Simplifile, we're going to have FedEx, and we'll probably have other things like DocuSign and other integration partners, so that each user of our site will be able to integrate their existing accounts into our system. And so they're going to need to have a unique API user token per user. So they'll be able to come here, enter in that token, and save it. And we've created, we've called it a marketplace member object, and that's where they'll store this information. So what this does is this just allows them to enter in their token, test that the token is valid, and that they're integrated. For your testing purposes, this token is still valid. This token can still be used to test, but you should be grabbing it instead from this table, marketplace widget member, and the table has a column called JSON options, and inside the JSON options there's going to be a field called API user token. So if I go to my database here, you can see there's this field, and that's where the token is going to be stored for each user, so, or each company at least.
And so that's what field we should store all the like additional credentials from the API, like secret keys and etc., right?
Exactly. So for Simplifile, it's just going to be a user token. But for FedEx, it might be something different. So for FedEx, they might have a username and password, or they may have organization IDs. But that's why we made it JSON option, so that we can have the integration partners as we want, and they'll all just use the same table. So that's basically the first part. So if you look at how I made this test credentials, so this is where they go and they enter in their credentials to make sure that they work correctly. And you can see what I do is I just grab the JSON options, map it. I update the Simplifile options so that the user token is coming from this string that I pulled from the table, and then I make the call. And so it's just a simple call to verify that it's correct. And if I get an unauthorized response, same old, and the rest of it should be the same. So that's how the calls need to be made. So as you're working on these create package, validate package, retrieve package, there will be a little bit of update in that you'll have to get the current company ID of the user and make a call to this table and grab their options and then get the API token from the options.
Okay, so
Does that make sense?
first of all, we need to update our older methods, right? And only after that, we should start working on the 910 task itself.
Exactly. So it really should just be these. I think there's 4 that get updated. And so you would make a call to, and there's already a service that's created where you can pass in, where you can make a call to the service and pass in your company ID or your user ID, and it should be able to grab it. Like, in fact, I don't even think you have to pass anything in; it'll just get it. So, as long as you have the correct widget number, which is going to be when you run your migrations, it'll show up, but it'll just be you can get it by name and it's simply file. So, okay, and so that's pretty much it on that part. But what I wanted to also let you know about is, in order when you're creating these packages, it's going through their test API, and so just to make sure that everything is getting loaded and sent there correctly, you can log in and view your existing uploads, you're creating your packages that are created and all that other stuff. So the credentials that are in the app settings here, so account name and account password, you can go to simplyfile.com, and that's where you'll go and make sure that like these packages that were created, when you use the API and create them, you'll go here and verify that it actually got loaded and that it got loaded correctly. And there's more details in the tickets, but that's just so that you're aware of that, and that's where you go and get the verification that things are working for that first ticket. Or maybe it's the second ticket, the upload package. But what's going to happen is in our system, we have a bunch of uploads, and so the first ticket I think is just getting the different files and creating a package of all the files, and then saving them. And then what'll happen is you'll just make a call using the create package. And upload it. So that's the first step. So I just wanted to share that because there was a change, and it's a little confusing. So, or it can be confusing. So just make sure that if don't spin your wheels too long if you have a question or if something doesn't make sense, or if you think that something should be done differently, then please reach out and let me know.
Yeah, sure. If there will be something wrong, I'll let you know according to that older methods.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, that's all I had to share. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, my questions is about the task 910 itself. So it says that we have to add functionality for user to upload some sort of scanned document, and after that, the document need to be pushed to the simple file API, right?
Yep.
So the functionality, as I get it, user just need to pick an image file with his document that he sure is fine. So I'm not sure about how can we validate that scanned document, and also what exactly API methods or what exactly we should looking for on the API documents in the simple file API. Like what's the methods that will be used for this functionality?
Okay, so this ticket is, I think, mostly creating the package on our application side and preparing it to upload or to simply file.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything here is actually talking to it. What happens is the system creates a bunch of documents. People will sign the documents. They'll scan the documents, and then what'll happen is they'll come to the system here and they'll upload it. So we just need an upload functionality. So when they upload it, it uploads them and it classifies them as scanned final documents. Not as scanned, but just final documents. And then they can. So when they create a package, they can select the package, and then they just make sure that they select the correct documents here that they've uploaded in the system, and so that's all kind of this form is doing. So it'll be a table, it'll package name, and then it'll have, some kind of join table that says, okay, include this document, and then it can save it. Does that make sense?
Yes, because previously I thought it was not a form but some kind of picture. Okay, so we're creating a form. We're also adding ability to upload different kind documents, and that's all that we have to do for now. And only after that we will be thinking how to send something to the API, right? So currently we just need to create all the logic in our code, and that's all. So we don't need to do something with the API.
Sure. I think the upload functionality is already here. So I think they just upload the document here. You just have to select. So they upload it here. They just have to select it here. So you'll show a list of documents. There's a classification of documents. I think it's going to be called like final documents. There should be an enum for document types to display in this list. But they will already have been uploaded. But they'll just select those existing documents. So I don't think you have to actually write that part.
Okay. There is also another question. If you open the task in Jira, there will be two subtasks for two different components, and I'm not sure what exactly these components are for.
Okay. Provide e-recording, read-only user component, and functionality. Provide package content. Well, that makes two of us. I'm sorry. I don't think I know what that means either. Sorry. I think in this case we go off of the PDF. Geez, I don't know what that means.
So subtasks are not actual tasks
Not helpful.
for us, right?
I mean, if you do the PDF, these will be done. I don't think it's very helpful. The whole point is the subtasks. It lets you do part of it and move it over to done, and I can do merges. And that way, you don't have to wait until it's all done to do merges. That's kind of the idea of the subtask. But this isn't very informative, so.
Okay, so we can just ignore these two subtasks, right?
Right. If you do the document, these will be done. Yes.
Okay, that's suitable.
And I'm sorry that wasn't clear. The intention is that the subtasks are intended to be to help you keep track or to move things over. So if it's not clear, that's not the intention.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a problem.
Okay. So I mean, I think the idea is that if someone's in this closing section, they upload documents here. These are their final documents. And so when it's uploaded here, when you add the new e-recording section tab here, they should be able to select from a drop-down these documents. And then they create the package that way. And then maybe just to make things easier, now that I'm thinking about it, just to avoid migration issues, once you get the data schema in place, do you want to, I think it's fine if you want to do a pull request then. And I'll merge it in right away. That way we don't have an issue with migrations if you want to do that.
Yeah, we might do that. I'll see if there will be like really need in doing that.
Okay. And just another thing is I still, for your team, Daria, I still am giving you guys priority from 10 a.m. my time to noon. So that 2-hour window, I'm only going to merge from your team. So if you do any updates and you merge from develop and do a PR, you should be able to not have any conflict issues. So that's still in place.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And one quick question: you have mentioned that task number 910 is a high priority task. Do you have any deadline for it?
I think you'll probably be able to finish it this week. It really needs to be done this week. The other ones are just the follow-on tasks, so you create a package, you upload a package, and you manage a package. So these are all related. These 913 and 915, but 910 is I want you to do that one first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
No questions for now.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you too.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.